worship the Lord. Worship in spirit and truth. Those who say that they know him must walk as he walked. He is the way and the truth, and in him is the life. If we obey his word, then we walk in the light. He is the way and the truth, and in him is the life. If we obey his word, then we walk in the light. If we say that we know him, but we don't keep his word, then we walk in the darkness, and the truth's not in us. If we walk in the light, we will have fellowship sweet, and the blood of Jesus will cleanse us from sin. He is the way and the truth, and in him is the life. If we obey his word, then we walk in the light. He is the way and the truth, and in him is the life. If we obey his word, then we walk in the light. He is the way and the truth, and in him is the life. If we obey his word, then we walk in the light. He is the way and the truth, and in him is the life. If we obey his word, then we walk in the light.
Well. Good to see everybody again. It's been a bit. Last week, I ended up deciding I just needed to take the balance of the week off. By Wednesday morning, I didn't feel the greatest, and then Thursday, Friday, I needed to take that few days just of recovery. I mean, you got to understand, I'd put on by that point almost 18,000 miles, and some of that driving and a lot of that flying, and I just was wiped out pretty much, actually. And that plus coming home to that litter of puppies was quite a bit, and trying to help Wendy with that. And there's 10 puppies that we're taking care of, that they'll go to their forever homes here and later in November, beginning of December. Not that they're all spoken for yet. You can pray for that we would be able to get them all to their homes. That is a little bit of funding base for us. Raising puppies like that does help a little bit in filling in some of the gaps. So just want to ask you to pray for us to be able to get rid of all the puppies. I hate saying that because I love them. They're cute little tykers. They really, really are. Sometime I should just do a video there in the room with the puppies. They are so cute, little puppy breath and little puppy kisses, and they're just cute little critters. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I want to talk to you about the trip to India, and some of what was learned, some of the people that I experienced, and the focal point of ministry for me largely rotates around, and I'm trying to narrow this focus, those who are engaged in leading disciple-making movements or in helping to establish said movement back here in the United States, or in other places of the world, connecting people with those who are local and partners that we have that can be of the greatest aid locally. Some people think America big, strong. Well, we don't have, especially this particular ministry, we don't have all the different resources that some would think. In fact, sometimes we just struggle ourselves to keeping things put together and trying to stay on top of it. It is expensive to live here in America, and even though Wendy and I both work, and this isn't a complaint. I'm just saying the nature of our ministry isn't one of raising resources for lots of other people, but it is a nature of working with those who are saying, I want to learn how to expand and multiply, and who are willing to say, I want to be connected with those in our region who can help me with that. And that really is very much the focus. And India is part of that. I mean, really, I got to go along. I got a participation trophy. That's what I would say, because I really, other than the last, I don't know, 5 months, 6 months, and I've met some of the folks before, but the last 5-6 months, I've jumped on the wagon, if you will, and been a part of the work of my very dear friend and mentor, Steve Hudson. You'll see a picture of Steve here along the way. And those that are listening, I'm sorry. If you're listening via podcast, much of what I will do today is going to be picture related. So I'd encourage you to go over to the Facebook page, either at the Daily Discipleship Podcast page. Find that page, or find that same page on YouTube. Or also, I am broadcasting this morning live at the New England Bible College website, Facebook page, just because I think of what I have to share has some pertinence there as well. So anyway, let me get to the pictures and share with you. Of course, I left on the 19th of October and returned on the 26th of October. I spent a full week in India. We began in Delhi and then went off to a place called Siliguri, about 10,000 feet toward the Himalayas. And yes, that is how you say it in that part of the world. I don't know how they say it in Pakistan. But I can tell you that in India, it is pronounced Himalayas, not Himalayas. That's how we pronounce it here in the West. But if you're there, it's the Himalayas. And so let me get over to a screen, and it isn't going to be necessarily the tidiest screen that you're going to see, but I'm going to share some pictures with you and just give you a little bit of a feel. This is the place where we're staying. It was the Mayfair Tea Resort. Tea is a very, very big deal over in that part of the world. I mean, it was British occupied, British controlled India until 50, 60 years ago. And tea, this was like a part of a tea plantation. And then a resort was built. And so this is the place. It's a nice place. And it really was a very, very nice place to stay when you consider, and here I am sitting there outside the Mayfair Tea Resort. This is my dear friend, Abraham. Abraham is really, in many ways, we do lovingly call him Father Abraham. And we say that because he really is the father of a movement over there, having led thousands and thousands and thousands of people to Christ through their ministries, and you'll see more about that. But Abraham is really a central figure in all in much of what is happening there in India. Just some more pictures of what it looks like here. Behind in the background, you see tea fields, and they're small little tea trees that grow, and they pick the edges off of the leaves. That's where we get tea from. And this particular place had an outdoor tea area. The British are big on taking tea, and so they had this area where we could go and sip tea, and Abraham and I sat there for quite a while, just discussing many things, and relative to disciple making, relative to Bible colleges and seminaries, relative to uh, theological education, as it sometimes gets in the way of disciple making, and the fact that we also have disciple making taking place that needs to be ramped up theologically, and how to bring those two worlds together. Um, Another view, just giving you a view of the place, beautiful place that we stayed and work from. And you're going to see a contrast with this as I go through the pictures here. As we were driving to this location, I didn't get pictures. I mean, we're driving on a very narrow, it looked like a one-way road, but it really was a two-way road. And on that road were dogs and goats and cows and people and bicycles. And it's like, where are we going? And you drive back and turn the corner and drive into the Mayfair. And if you look up Mayfair resorts, there are beautiful places there that in several different locations around India and maybe some other countries as well, all kind of rooted in Darjeeling would be another area, all kind of rooted in this tea industry. Nice place. There you go. Okay. And they have all this Indian art and things like what you're looking at here, and just getting the sense of what it's like. I'm going to go quickly through some of the pictures because I didn't take the time to build a slideshow or anything. I'm just in my photos right now. Here's a display. They're selling the teas and tea products and whatnot there in the hotel that you can buy because it's a tea place. So another view, very, very beautiful place. Look at that table that's in the foreground there. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this, but I did want to give you a sense that well, yes, we do go to some difficult places. There are some wonderful aspects to it as well, and all the teas and all these people, and you see Lipton down here in the corner of this one picture, Lipton iced tea in the winter. Why not? And so it's an actor, but lots of historical stuff around this hotel and unbreakable rules for making a cup of tea. So just interesting stuff, little sidelines, things to read, points of interest that were there that were part of this. Down the hallway, this is the eating area. Off to the right, there is in the morning, that was the breakfast buffet. That's buffet, in case you didn't catch that. And then down to the right, there's a door you go into, or at the far end, there's another area, eating area, which mostly Indian cuisine. And so, yeah. And Fran saying one sculpture could run and feed a village for a year. Absolutely. And to see, you're going to see the disparity here. There's a picture of me sitting outside there getting some sun. Okay, no, that's not me. That's a Buddha statue out there. I don't have the long earlobes like that. I have just a tad more hair and a beard, but other than that, it's pretty similar. Desserts, I mean, we did not suffer. I'll put it that way. We did not suffer at all on this trip. I mean, this is the type of desserts they brought out to us and they had available and wanted you to eat all that. And it's like, I shouldn't eat anything on that plate because it's all high carbs, high sugar, and things I need to stay away from personally. This is a door that was in the hotel, and just another picture out from our balcony. There were monkeys that we saw from time to time. I was not able to get a picture of the monkeys, but they were hanging out over on this edge to the left, and did not see an elephant either. Yeah, Dawn asking, are those keto friendly? A good one, Dawn. No, none of that was keto friendly. Not much on this trip was keto friendly, actually, and it was a little bit difficult for me that way. Again, just pictures, nice, beautiful area. Now let's get to it. Here we are sitting, meeting. This is the work that we're here to do. And of course, there's a chair here. That's where I had been sitting, and I was up and about taking some pictures. I'm not going to name most of the people here just to kind of protect them a little bit. I've named Abraham. At the far end of the table here is my mentor, Steve Hudson. Really, Steve is the key person that has helped bring this to this point in India, and he has been a mentor to me for years. Most of these guys are from India or Nepal. We have one guy from Singapore who is also a significant leader, a significant player in what's taking place there. So, but we're meeting, we're talking, we're discussing, we're strategizing, we're evaluating just exactly what is happening in India. Here you see the background picture, Concentric India Summit. 3 different big organizations have come together and decided to come under the banner of Concentric. Major work that Steve has done, major work that has been done also on the part of my dear friend Mike Harder. And I would say I have a participation trophy that I was largely just kind of along for the ride here, which isn't entirely true. I mean, I am trying to learn people, and because there will be parts and places that I will also be asked to play along the way here in the development of things. So, but meetings, we had 3 full days of meetings, discussing, evaluating, hearing what's happening. Again, just lots of pictures here. You can see the waters and the thoughts, whiteboards, all those types of things that we were sitting there and talking about, discussing. And Steve is a master. He is so focused. And Steve and I got together when I was in youth ministry 37 years ago, and he was in youth ministry as a national leader in the Evangelical Free Church, and he recruited me to be part of his national team, which I did for a decade or so, and then I transitioned over to the national church planting team. But Steve, just a monster leader in that way. So, continuing on, again, here it is, Concentric India Summit. Great things taking place there, and I might not share all the pictures that are here. Again, here's the work. One of the things that they would do, you see these servers in the background in this picture. They would come in. There's tea time. You know, here in America, tea time means what time do you play golf? Over there in India, they have tea time at like 10:30 in the morning and 3:30 in the afternoon. So they would come in and bring us tea or coffee or take our orders, and it's just what they do. It's just a wonderful experience that way. So again, more work, lots of conversation, and we're talking about key result areas, and that's something that we could all learn from here. What are key result areas, and how are we doing at meeting those areas? Something that ministries would do well to learn, key result areas. So again, I'm just going to kind of click through these pictures pretty quickly. And here we see the key leaders here of this Concentric India Summit. Again, not going to name names just because a little bit of identity protection because of some of the places that they get into. It's enough that I'm actually even sharing this much. So, but a great day of rejoicing. This picture is just simply the lobby area going into the restrooms, and they have all these. Hunting is a big deal over there, and British like to hunt. And so Priscilla's asking the question, does everyone speak English? No, not everyone does. Many people speak English. I will tell you this story. When I was preparing to leave India, we called an Uber, and I was going to take an Uber from Abraham's house to the airport. In fact, I did take an Uber to the airport, but my Uber driver did not speak English. And it seemed in the dialogue between Abraham and the driver that the driver kind of was reticent, didn't really want to take me to the airport, but he finally did. When I understood what the fare was, it was like $5 he was going to get to take me to the airport. Now, it was 13 miles, okay? It doesn't sound bad, but it took 2 hours to go 13 miles because of the traffic. And you could see why he didn't want it. He would rather just run around locally because it was far more meaningful to him. And the second thing is, he didn't speak English, but I could see his dashboard, and his fuel was on E, and the light was flashing the whole time. And I think he was nervous that we weren't going to make it. I don't know why he didn't stop and get gas, because we did stop. We did pass several, I'll say a handful of gas stations at least on the way there, that if he would have gotten over, and maybe it's just too hard to get out of the traffic, maybe, I don't know, he could have gotten gas. But my hunch is he didn't have the money for gas. Well, I tipped him far more than what the actual Uber cost, and that money talked. I pointed the tip and showed him the tip, showed him the amount of what the fare was, and the tip was 3 or 4 times the amount of the fare. And then I also gave him some cash, because I thought he might not have the ability to go get gas. And when I did that, he lit right up. And I mean, he seemed agitated the whole time. But once we finally got to the tip point and got to the airport, he hugged me, and tears in his face and that type of thing. So it was just a pretty amazing experience, experiencing that. So let me cut back over to some of these other pictures. There I am showing off the room. I don't know what the women's room was like. I didn't go in there, and I was afraid what might happen if I did. It's not so widely accepted over there like maybe it is here in America. So that is a drink, chrysanthemum drink is what that drink is. It's good for colds, good for sore throats, and there's an actual chrysanthemum drink that you can take. So I got to watch my time here this morning. Wow, we're already through this. Satyajit, I will say his name. He said that is okay. He is like the number 2 man to Abraham. Satyajit, since 2017, has trained 35,000 pastors in disciple-making approach to ministry. And it's just absolutely staggering. Not only do they train them, but the other thing that they do there is they coach. And you don't go to the next level of training until you're applying what you've already learned. That is just what they do there. You know, you're not ready to go to the next level until you're putting into practice the things that you've been taught. So, as an example, if you're not evangelizing people, you don't go to the next level. As a pastor, it's expected you're going to evangelize. And people, they're not just training pastors; they're training the pastors to train their people, and the pastors are do the same thing with their people. Well, it's resulted in hundreds of thousands of people coming to faith in Christ as a result of their approach there. So, jump through a few pictures here, then I'll get back. Again, the hard work, lots of questions, lots of listening, lots of clarifying taking place there. Now, we did go out to one of the villages. This is an awareness program for human trafficking. That is a big problem in India, and Abraham's ministry, the Full Gospel Trust ministry, provides resources for programs like this. And so we went to this event to hear the presentation about human trafficking and how to stop it, and appropriate, inappropriate touch, all that. I couldn't understand any of it because it was all in Hindi, but we were there to support and to encourage. And you get the sense here's a village area that's actually like a parking garage up there, out in the village. It's kind of interesting the mix that's there. When I got out of the vehicle, it's like I feel like I'm in the pasture. Well, you have to be careful where you step, because there's cow manure in different places, because the cows just wander around there all over the place. So again, here's the sign. Here's the lady doing the primary teaching and speaking on this. It's an aspect of ministry that they are supporting and doing a phenomenal job rescuing girls. In fact, I think it was the next day Abraham got a call from from this lady here that they had rescued another girl who was about to be abducted and trafficked. So just real quick, I took lots of pictures. Again, we didn't suffer at all. This is eating at a buffet type place. This is one of those meat buffets. I think it was called National Barbecue, or no, Barbecue Nation. That was the name of this place. So we're just having lots of barbecue. That was one time I could eat because it wasn't all rice and that type of a thing. So I want to see what else we have here. I don't want to necessarily share all these different things with you, but you just kind of get the sense a little bit of type of place where we were, what we were up to, what we were working at. I'm going to come back tomorrow and talk more about this, I think, because I want to get to some of the applicational aspects for us as well as get into you're going to see a messy desk behind me in this picture because I've got some things stacked up there. As well as some of the other areas that we got into, because I didn't get to those yet here in all the pictures. Here's one example. While I'm here, I'll look at this with you. This is a slide it's on the TV screen. And we're talking about disciple-making coaching centers. That is one of the things that they're very big at, is creating these disciple-making coaching centers. And what they do. You see, they start here with Jesus' strategy. They teach people how to live the everyday commission, which is, loving people, the everyday commandment, loving God, or the everyday commission, proclaiming the gospel, the everyday commandment, loving God and loving people. But every day, it isn't just the great, it's out there somewhere, but it's for every day. Then they talk about programming. What disciple-making programs do you develop? What are the practices of living as a disciple? And then Discovery Bible Studies are Bible studies that are meant for helping people. They're evangelistic Bible studies. So, I mean, we talked about their process in that way of the different, what they do. They have a very, very, very specific approach to what they do. And it's going like gangbusters. And I look and go, well, how can we learn from this back here in America? So one more slide I will put up, and it's a little bit darkish. Sorry about this, but, they talk about the coaching gap, growth, action steps, and problems. They look at the current reality on the one side, and then they look at what is the intended future on the other side, and what is the plan, and the progress to get there over to the intended future. So, I mean, they're very, very deliberate about talking about things of that nature, things that again, would be helpful in a local church context. And this is the way that they help their pastors think about ministry. And I'll put one more slide up here, just kind of a fun slide outside the Mayfair Hotel, and just some crazy faces. And of course, I'm not in this picture because I'm taking the picture, but just a great time that we had. And I'll come back tomorrow. I think I'm going to share day 2 on this, because I want you to see when we get up in the mountains. I want you to see into the slums and what the slums are like and some of the work that is there for us to wrestle with. Friends, this is why I do what I do. This is part of what I'm engaged in with the Bible college and seminary, trying to help us get shifted. We do a tremendous job training theologically, philosophically, biblically. But I don't know that we do as good a job in Bible colleges and seminaries in America, generally speaking, helping people think through strategically. That is a missing link in Bible colleges and seminaries. And it is my hope and prayer that I can bring this type of thinking, this type of engagement into at least our college and seminary, and help us grow in our ability as disciple makers here in America, and perhaps have some influence in other Bible colleges and seminaries. Now, question was asked along the way here, what about getting to other places? There are countries that I may not go into because of the level of threat, the level of danger. However, we do have partners in places. In fact, Abraham has many contacts over in Pakistan, and that he was asking what specific town, and we can get you connected there. And I mean, one of the things there, we've done little trickles of Bibles along the way, something we need to get back talking about. And right now, everything I'm talking about beyond this broadcast is money related. Actually, really, it truly is in many ways. But they're working on a million Bibles for India, which, when you consider India is almost 1.5 billion people, a million Bibles just hardly makes a dent. But again, we want to get people connected to resources, to coaching, to partners that we have in other places of the world, and that's something we need to work at with you there in Pakistan as well. There is work there. We do have contacts there that can probably expedite their helpfulness to you in so many ways beyond what I have the ability to do. So, well, friends, I'm going to stop there for this morning. We'll come back for day 2 and share a little bit more about this, and ask ourselves the question, what can we learn? How can we make application here so that we can bear much fruit for Jesus? Lord, help us to learn from our friends. Help us to take a cue from our friends, learn from our friends, and that you would help us to be able to grow, thrive, and flourish here in America as well. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Friends, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.